welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So today we're opening up the 13 days of the Blue Monkey Wavespell. And that means yesterday we closed off what, at least for me, was quite a wild and fairly intense period of reflection of the 13 days of the White Mirror Wavespell. So the last 13 days have been about going through a deep reflective process of witnessing the outside world, highlighting where we are out of integrity with our own vision and when we're out of integrity with our own heart's intelligence. And so if you are able to listen to the reflection that turns up around you, it is a really powerful time of cutting away aspects of ourselves that we're still carrying that are really part of an old story. They're part of the old script of who we were that got us here. And we're in rapid times of evolution and change right now, where I'm sure you've experienced it, that who we are in every minute is so different to who we were just a few minutes ago. You know, even just in today, you know, it's this blue magnetic monkey day. I've gone through so many phases from the moment I woke up to who I am right now speaking to you. You know, there's been so many special moments through the day that have either challenged me or empowered me or just allowed me to have the space to be me. And through the full embodiment of what turned up in my day and the full ownership of the reflection that I discovered, that I've honed that art over the last 13 days, has allowed me to really witness, you know, this kind of Hollywood script that we're living right now. You know, it's allowed me to really witness the illusion that we dance in as humans in this experience. And so this 13 days of the Blue Monkey that begins today, it's a 13-day wave spell that brings us into the center of the Mayan Tzolk'in, a very powerful time. And this 13 days of the Blue Monkey, pardon me, is all about being able to become our own inner magician. You know, it's our own illusionist. And it's like being one of these famous illusionists like Dynamo or some of these others who get up on stage and they do these tricks. But in order to do the tricks, they need to understand the architecture of the illusion. So magicians can often be looked at as, you know, people go, oh, they're just tricking, it's not real magic. But when you actually stop and consider what a magician does, it's pretty mind-blowing. To be a really good live magician, you need to be able to understand human behavior. You need to be able to understand physics on a really deep level. You need to be able to combine these different aspects of existence, you know, from the rules of reality, and then understand deeply the imagination, the capacity of imagination within the human species, and then combine the two. And, you know, when I look at the work of Dynamo, you know, there's been so many times this magician Dynamo is a street magician. If you haven't seen him, worth checking out his stuff. It always inspired me when I watched his work, because, you know, whether it was a real or not becomes kind of irrelevant. But the illusion that he creates right in front of people's faces, the feeling of mystery and possibility and the impossible, this magic that he generates when he does his performance, is second to none. And I've been live to see the Dynamo shows, and he's been right there doing a trick right in front of me. And I remember he looked at me and I saw him in the eyes. And I just saw this man who was just bringing such a beautiful gift to the world in creating these illusions. Now, I still haven't made up my mind whether he's completely just using illusions or if there's some reality in there. And that's what this 13-day Wavespell, the Blue Monkey, is kind of encouraging right now. It's encouraging us to let go of needing to know what's real for sure. It's really encouraging us to change our mindsets from this left brain, logical, scientifically driven kind of social perspective of life, that we need to know the rules, the regulations, the structures, and exactly what is true. But I've gone deeper and deeper into this investigation around, the scientific method. And I'm a big fan of science. Don't get me wrong. I'm the biggest fan of science. I think it is incredible. Science is an amazing art form. And it's a discovery into what's real. But what I started discovering, the more I delved into the world of science, was that those people who are really deeply into science itself at its purest form, real skeptics. Because a skeptic is somebody who has not made up their decision, is somebody who has not been convinced of the reality or truth of something. It's not somebody it's not a pessimist, someone that says something's not real. It's somebody who just simply is still open. Their judgment is still open. They're still receiving data. They're still investigating. They're willing to look. And real scientists, they are willing to always look, because the fact is you can never prove something does not exist. Because who knows, maybe there's a whole dimension that we can't prove yet with our technology. So you can't really ever prove something doesn't exist. But you can show something does exist, at least to our perception. And so I started discovering that science itself was not as solid as we were led to believe. And that's where I started investigating life on a whole new level. And I think this Blue Monkey Wavespell, this next 13 days, we're being challenged to let go of what we think we know and open ourselves up to experiencing the illusion and the magic tricks that reality is playing out all around us. With the awareness that we're living in an illusion, that these are magic tricks, sleight of hands and perception. I mean, right now, with your eyeballs that you're looking out into the world, you are seeing such a tiny spectrum of light frequency that is around me right now. But you can only see a tiny spectrum of that with this incredible technology we call eyeballs. But there's so much more right in front of you right now, all around me, that you and I can't see. Other animals can, other technology can, but not with our eyes. And so I challenge you now for this next 13 days of the Blue Monkey to let go of this incessant need to know what is true. And see if you can find the humor in the madness that we live in right now. And I don't mean to be reckless, but to be light-hearted, to bring the innocence of a child exploring its reality. Just like when a young baby just, I've got my nephew Jack, he's what is he, a year old or something now, but he's such a beautiful age where you can see he's getting this life force, he's getting this real character. Jack, the character, is coming alive. His script is starting to play out. And I'm watching the way he moves around on the ground and the way he looks at things and starts just whacking things and tapping and tasting and touching. And he has no expectation of how things are supposed to be. He's in this pure state, this pure, innocent, childlike state of receptivity to receive the data of his environment he's just turned up in, of his body, what it can do, and he's just experimenting. And I challenge you for the next 13 days, when you can, to just really breathe into your center and see if you can find that inner childlike spirit, that when conflict happens, when the so-called reality that you've been relying on begins to crumble beneath you, look at it through the eyes of a child, the innocence of a very young child. And instead of passing judgment as to right or wrong, or oh my God, this is the end of everything, see if you can look at it like a falling tower of Lego or building blocks, that it may be falling, but as you watch it fall, there's so much wisdom that you can gain through simply witnessing the collapse. And then once it has fallen, allow this inspired play to arise within you and pick up the broken blocks, pick up all these fallen parts and put them back together again in a way that inspires you from your heart, that makes you feel free. That's what children do. They just play and they just rebuild, and they don't care if it's going to be the final construction. It'll fall down again. They'll have a tantrum and get upset again, and they'll get over it and they'll build again. And so I challenge you, this 13 days of the blue monkey, this is your chance, because the white mirror, the red serpent, these have been intense energies to get us to let go of all the stuff that is no longer who we are. It's been helping to clear the debris, clear the noise out of our heads, and it's intense. And so now we have an opportunity. This is the time you've been waiting for. Now is the time for all of us to work together, to own our individual power, our own resources, that you are a resource. You have so much wisdom in your body that you have not even tasted yet. You don't need to read it in books. It's inside you. The greatest magic trick ever known is the genome, is in your genetics. Within your DNA is your script. Everything you came here to be, just waiting for your awareness to target the light of your being through the filter of your DNA into the world, so you can co-create the new illusion of the new time together with all the rest of us. So don't try to fix everyone else during this wave. Don't try to rescue things that are falling down. There's a lot of things that need to fall down. And as they fall down, they will leave behind so many resources that we can begin to gather. So begin to gather the resources where you see them. Begin to connect with others who share that spirit and share your heart's inspiration. And don't focus on helping them succeed. But during these 13 days, wake up your inner child and redirect those resources inside to nurture and to bring self-assurance into your own heart, so that you can be this beautiful projector, projecting your piece of the new illusion into the world. And as each of us shine our fractal of the whole, as we begin to really center ourselves and bring our awareness and shine it through the highest frequencies we can attain, whatever that is, we begin to light up the world. And before you know it, you will see the signs of the new hologram of the new time turning up all around you. I already am. I'm seeing it everywhere. It's time to stop fighting. It's time to stop creating the division. It's time to stop creating all these rules and regulations of how things need to be to work. We can't regulate peace. We can't create legislation to bring equality. Only deep wisdom and awareness can do that. Compassion and love. So we need to bring that fierceness of our sovereign spirit, of our lion self, and walk forward into the world with courage, but with compassion and with love. So here's the play. Here's to creating the new time together. And here's to rising up out of the mud and becoming the lotus that we were born to be. May this Wavespell awaken your inner child and really inspire you to just create. And I look forward to creating together with you all. All my love. In Lakesh. I'll see you next Wavespell.